A wee while ago, an e-bike company called Tenways got in touch to ask if I'd like to try out one of their bikes. It arrived a couple of days ago, but I'm only now getting a chance to unbox it. Tenways wants to have more user-generated content, which includes e-bike tips, daily usage scenarios, an introduction to the local geography and culture, and so in return for loaning me their bike for a year, I've agreed to make one video a month over that period and post it to my channels for e-bike nugs. Spoiler, I will likely make much more. Tenways can suggest topics, but what I cover in those videos is at my sole discretion, and what I say is what I alone want to say. They don't get to approve the videos before I publish them. Where tools exist to flag branded content, I will, otherwise I'll use the ad hashtag and link back to this video. Let's get to it. Right, let's see if we can open this. So I've never had a bike delivered by post before. I've only ever bought bikes in shops, and it's quite interesting seeing how it all comes together. But it's also a bit of a chat. I know what we're going to do. We're just going to open this at the front. Oh yeah, here we go. And there she is. Well, hey. Oh wow. There's probably some sort of good way of doing this, isn't there? Need my scissors back. You stay there. Stay. I'm hoping and assuming there's some sort of manual in here somewhere. It will tell me how to put this all together. I assume that's the charger. I had to take a short break there because the wind got up and all the packaging I've just ripped off the bike, so I had to blow everywhere all over the garden. So, first thing we're going to do now is just pop that down so it doesn't catch the wind. So this is a step-through, oh, there's a bit of packaging that didn't catch before. This is a step-through style bike. It is the CGO800S from Tenways, which is a manufacturer that I didn't know before they got in touch with me. It's an interesting bike, I think, because as you'll see as I unpack it, it very much doesn't look particularly e-bikey. The e-bikiness is quite subtle. But they've made some really interesting decisions. So, first thing, it's a hub motor, which I've recorded videos about in the past, tend to appear on less expensive bicycles and perhaps don't have as much power as mid-mounted motors. But that said, it is a torque sensor, not a cadence sensor. So it should be much more responsive and feeling much more natural to what you're doing. But there are some really nice choices. That's easier, isn't it? Just untaping it rather than hacking at it with scissors, Chris. There are some really nice choices. So there's a really beautiful display built into the handlebars here, which I love. Little bell. That's not an example of one of those really nice choices. But there is a belt drive here rather than a chain. Belt drives are brilliant. They should be much lower maintenance than a chain. And they should basically last the lifetime of the bike. On Tenways' website it lists how many miles it does, but I can't remember what the number was. Integrated lights, of course. There's also indicators on the back, and there's a control. I think this might be it here. No, it's over here. There's a control for flicking on indicators at the back of the bike so that people behind you can see what way you're going. I suspect they're not going to be super bright, but I like that idea. Tenways makes two models of bikes. So this was their second, I think. The first one looks more traditional as a bike, a bit more sporty. Not a mountain bike, but a sort of sporty road bike. Is that fair? But when they were talking about which model I'd like to make some content for them about, I went for this one. I'm not sporty, but more importantly, there's much more practicality in this. In part, you've got the pannier rack at the back, so that there's plenty of opportunities. Oh, I wonder where the pedals are. There's no pedals. Plenty of opportunities to take cargo or a kid. But yeah, the mix of a hub motor with a torque sensing rather than cadence sensing system, and that talks about how the bike understands how much power you want from it and how it gives you that power, and that combination is quite rare. I think Bromptons might do it, but it is generally quite a rare combination. Usually torque sensors come with mid-mounted motors, and hub motors have cadence sensors. And the problem with cadence sensors is it takes them a second to catch up with what you're doing. It takes them a second to understand what you want. So it feels a little bit more like awaiting a throttle rather than just cycling, but a bit easier. Let me do some tidying up, I'll be back with you. That's better. So we've got a wheel for the front with mud guards. Very good, very important. There is quite a trend I've noticed as I've started following e-bike communities. That noise is very annoying, isn't it? Sorry. Hang on. It's nice metal. Aye, mud guards are only plastic. Oh, springs open. Okay, figure out how to mount that in a sec. Now there's this disky wheelie thing on here, but I presume that's just to protect. Does it just pop off? Yes, it does. Very good. And then I want to have a little look in here, because I think the charger is in here, but also pedals would be useful. Ooh. Ooh, I'm going to come and show you this. Ooh. Ooh. Tools. Reflectors. Ooh. That's more like it. I should have opened this first, shouldn't I? Look, I've got my little manual in here. There's my pedals. Very nice. I shall read this. One of the advantages, of course, of having bought any bike I've had previously from a shop is that it's built for you. None of this looks particularly onerous, but it will definitely take me a second. We can do this. So I've taken the battery, this is removable, the battery that sits mainly here, taken it out because this is quite heavy and I'm going to be moving this bike around, so I don't want something heavy in it while I do. And then the first stage is to remove a little protective bit from the disc brake. That's another thing, it's got disc brakes, not rim brakes. Disc brakes are usually much more crisper and sharper. So this comes out. That's between the little calipers that grab the disc when you brake. This front wheel attaches with one of these quick release levers that I've seen, but I don't really know what they're for. Or rather, I know what they're for, but I don't immediately go, oh yeah, that's one of those, you just do the thing and the thing. Install it in the direction shown. Just this way. But what do I do with this? Does this come off? Yes. No? Yes? Yes. So this then goes through there. Yes. Like that. Through from that side. Then mud guards. Right, so I've done you a kindness and edited out 15 minutes of me peering at manuals and looking at hex keys, but actually that wasn't too bad putting that together. Generally speaking, something that most people could accomplish, I think. I'm always slightly nervous about me being in charge of the safety of something I've put together. I might take it to my friends at a bike shop nearby to get them to check it. But there she is. Oh, let's get rid of this cardboard. Much better. Right, some initial impressions. Things that I'm not excited about this bike is the fact that it doesn't have the huge big basket on the front of my bike that I have, particularly because for me, being able to just quickly run somewhere and chuck something in the basket, some shopping, some errands, some parcels for the post office, whatever, is important. There is of course a pannier rack here. I could add a basket to that or add bags. I am curious to know what the hub driven motor feels like. Traditionally they are at the lower end usually, not true always, but often bikes that are cheaper have hub motors. The saving grace here is that the torque sensor in here should be much more responsive and natural. But there are some things here that I really love. I love this display here in the handlebars. It looks so sleek, integrated, tight. I really love the fact that it's a belt drive down here. A belt drive should be really secure and robust and should last for tens of thousands of miles. The lifetime of the bike should never need replacing, it'll never slacken, should be great. And just overall, I really like the fit and finish. So things like at the front here, the cables are the right length, they are ducted nicely into holes at the front here and then run through the body of the bike, which makes it look really clean. I like the fact that we've got indicators at the back. That's a really nice touch. And it just feels quite tight, quite nicely put together. But we shall see, shan't we, when we take it out in its first ride. So if you'd like to join me as I take this out for its first ride, please do subscribe, follow, and you will see me when I've got this thing fully charged up and I'm ready to take it out on the road.